I've been a fan of battle rap since from a long time ago, since I was probably about like 15, 16. That was around the time of the WRCs, sort of 2006, 2007-ish. And obviously Jump Off. I think even before that, I was watching dudes like Respect BA, Stig of the Dump, um, Archaic back when he was doing his shit back then. So I've been into battle rap for a long time. I never really started doing it until I think about 5 years ago. Um, just really because at the time I was focusing on making music because I do a lot of different things. Like I make music, I make videos, I produce, like I do a lot of different shit. So like battle rap was never something that I'd really given a lot of thought to actually doing myself. I'd entered some freestyle tournaments in Glasgow, and I'd actually won a couple of tournaments. There were some tournaments early on where I got absolutely bodied. Like the first tournament I entered, I got through to the second round and I drew against Respect BA, and Respect BA just fucking destroyed me. And that was my that was my introduction to battle rap like long ago. But in terms of doing a cappella battles and written shit, 2015 there was a league called Breaking the Barrier in Glasgow, and they had like a written a cappella tournament, and I won the tournament in the final against a dude called Weedy. And that was pretty much from that point on. After I won that tournament, I was like, right, shit, I need to go outside of Scotland now. Like, I need to keep doing this battle rap shit because I was really I was enjoying it, and it was just a whole different creative outlet and creative avenue for me. So yeah, man, hooked up with King of the Ronalds, and then the rest is history. Kind of like it's just been like a roll since then.
Nice, man. And like, especially to have come up against, I mean, big names in the Scottish scene right so early on, like Respect BA, like Weedy, like that must have been exciting, to be fair.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean the Scottish scene was, there used to be a league up here called Badmouth Battles, which was run by a dude called Gasp. And it's kind of weird how not a lot of people outside of Scotland who are into battle rap really know about this. But this was sort of, it ran from I think about 2011 to like 2014 maybe was when the last events were. And yeah, like loads of people came up, like Joker Star battled Respect BA on there. Like this was when Soul was getting these early battles in. Like dudes like Chris Lee's, Innuendo, they all battled on there. And the events initially, when they first started out, were mad. Like they were packing out venues in Glasgow. So I was in about the hip hop scene in Glasgow at that time, and I was going to these events. And so I think seeing Soul battle early, seeing guys like Weedy, Respect BA, a guy like Loki, who's now gone on to do great things outside of rap, and of course Gasp himself, who's one of the most, I would say, underrated Scottish MCs. Like seeing all of them really live and early on really kind of helped form a lot of the way that I approach battling. Yeah, it was good to be around that influence like early on.
I can imagine, man. Yeah, and it's like for me personally, I think the Scottish scene has always been a little bit slept on, like everywhere else in the UK, but there's always been like a decent number of battlers from up there. Like I remember back in
Yeah.
kind of the early Don't Flop days. I mean, like you said, Loki was around a lot, Gasp, Weedy, people like that. Um,
Hmm.
like in terms of events up there though, like before you started Iron Bars up, so you mentioned kind of the Breaking the Barriers League. Has there really
Hmm.
been anything else that you guys have had up there?
Not so much. Other the thing with Scotland is like we're a really small country. Our hip hop scene is really small, but for some reason, like people just don't really tend to work together that much. Like everyone's kind of off doing their own thing. So I mean, before Iron Bars, yeah, there was Breaking the Barrier, which is a dude called Kane who runs a events company called Crown Sound. He'd put on like a few events. This was after Badmouth sort of was waning and was on the way out, and like some of his events were good, but like it was just yeah, it wasn't popping in the same way. But I mean, we've had Don't Flop come up here like a few times, going all the way back to like 2010, which I think was the first Don't Flop Scotland event. So shit has been popping up here for a while. And outside of that, I mean, you have random people just put on these random events like here and there. Another Scottish MC, a guy called Riza, like he put on a few battle events in Inverness, like the proper fucking Highlands in the north of Scotland. And like it's crazy to bring battle rap to these kind of areas. Like my dude Barkwright put on a couple of events in Perth as well, and you're putting on battle rap in front of non-battle rap crowds most of the time, which in the scene down south doesn't really happen that much. Everyone who's going to battle rap events are all battle rap fans, but when in somewhere like Inverness where there isn't a lot of shit happening anyway, just random people will show up to these things, and so the whole dynamic's different. The whole style has to be different. They're not trying to listen to bars; they're just trying to get drunk and listen to people insult each other. Like it doesn't have to be clever or nothing. So like, yeah, like there is kind of a sharp difference there. But yeah, in terms of shit, like events happening in Scotland stuff, there is stuff happening all the time. Um, it just Iron Bars is really the only actual consistent league that's left now.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, with like what you were saying with Riser throwing events in Inverness and stuff, like that's one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I loved most about King of the Ronalds. Like they would go anywhere. Like I remember them putting events on in places like Hull and
Yeah.
Banbury and just completely random places. But like,
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
personally, I think it's something that, especially in the UK, battle rap benefits from. Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
when
For
you
sure,
go into places.
the first ever King of the Ronalds event. Oh shit! The first ever King of the Ronalds event I ever went to, ever battled at, was in Taunton, like lit Taunton, like
Right,
fucking
okay.
West Country, in the attic of a pub. There was maybe 20 people there, like including the battlers, and it was live still. Like it was a lot of fun, but it was so random. Like yeah, and that's what I loved about what Ronalds did is like you gotta like it seems pretty much with battle rap in the UK, everything now is either London or Manchester or like maybe occasionally Bristol, right? But like yeah, Ronald's going to fucking Hull or fucking I don't know, like Notts as well. There are a lot of events in Nottingham. Um, yeah, you need that. You need to go to these mad different places because like that's where you get the real fucking the real characters, the real the real fucking cunts that show up. Like the UK is such a crazy country when you think about it, because all these little fucking pockets and villages of culturally just like I don't know, it's mad. I can't even describe it properly. King of the Ronalds was like shining a light on the UK's underbelly through the format of battle rap. I just loved it so much.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. And it's like just going to these places and like you said, with the places like Taunton, for example, like they don't exactly have a live music scene there either. So
Mm.
getting to see a battle rap event is whether they're into battle rap or even like rap as a whole, like they're probably gonna turn up because it's something to do and it's like I just think it's a strategy that's kind of missing from battle rap nowadays. But like
Yeah,
the battle you mentioned in Taunton, then is that the Simplicity battle? Is that right?
that is simplicity. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the first battle of yours that I ever saw. And then you kind of jumped in to big battles very quickly. I mean, after Simplicity, like the next battle was Hulk. Is that right?
No, the next battle I had after that was Ben Carlo in Manchester. That was at the event where Cadillac Ron was supposed to be coming over. He was supposed to battle O'Shea that night, but that was right at the time where he like nobody knew what was happening because he was in the night. It was the day he was supposed to fly over. Like he was just ghosting all of Mickey's texts and calls, and I think Mickey had thought like he's just bumped him, but it turned out that unfortunately he passed away. So that it was a bit of a weird event. But yeah, that was Ben Carlo, my second battle. But yeah, the third battle was against Hulk. at the King of the Ronald's second birthday.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And then, like, within probably about, I'd say about 6 months or so, you were over in America battling on No Coast for the first time and stuff as well, which is
Yeah.
like, for me personally, that was kind of the time that I got into No Coast. Like, I've
Mm,
seen the odd battle before that, like the T-Rex G Soldier battle, and like the ones that have kind of made it like hit a lot of views and stuff, but like never fully got into the No Coast kind of league at all. But you guys going over there was like incredible to see. Like, it was so out of the blue for me personally.
yeah.
And
It made so much sense, I think, because King of the Ronalds and No Coast, they they had kind of a similar aesthetic, like very DIY, like quite tongue in cheek. Some of the events looked like quite shambolic, but like a lot of fun. Like the first No Coast battle I think I ever watched, and this is before getting the offer to go over there and fuck with them. Like this was a couple of years before I watched Diggy Splash versus Michael White, right? And if
okay,
anybody is listening has not seen Diggy Splash versus Michael White, you need to watch this shit. It was one of my getting stoned on YouTube deep dive into just random obscure battles,
yeah,
and I can't even describe it, man. Like Lush One hosts it. It's I don't know where the fuck they did it. It looks like they got like a section of the fucking college that was used for drama studies or something, and because there's all black curtains in the background, and just did it in a corner, and like everyone's fucking lit, and the battle makes no sense. It is just bizarre. It is like it's Ronald's energy for sure. For sure. That's the thing a lot of people don't know about No Coast as well. Like they actually started as a battle league in Mizu University. It was events that was held on the campus. Like that's how it started out, and they had to adhere to like campus speech codes, so they couldn't use certain words and shit. Now, obviously, it's a much bigger operation. It's like actually all across America now. They've got an East Coast, a New England division. They've got a UK division that's popping off now. So yeah, they got No
yeah,
Coast.
yeah. Me too, man. I've become a big fan, and like the main thing that I kind of watch battle rap wise now is leagues like No Coast, like iBattle, people like leagues like that where the events don't really seem like a battle event. They seem more like a party with battles happening, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. It just makes for more fun to view. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Michael White versus Diggy Splash, like it's probably one of my favorites as well, to be fair. Like
Oh, it's classic. So good, man.
I've got like a
Fucking
bad battles playlist on YouTube that I probably watch like once a month, to be honest, and 50% of Michael White's battles are in there, to be fair to him. But yeah, like
yeah, Michael White's a different kettle of fish, man. I don't know what he's doing now. I hope he's still living. But like, yeah, man, fucking Michael White. I heard though he's like mad different when you meet him in real life. Like he's actually like very normal and he's quite quiet. But then like he starts rapping and he just starts going yeah, yeah,
yeah, like at the point where he came to the UK, I didn't have a clue who he was. And like I remember turning up in London for, I think it was a checkpoint event he was on, and he battled Soul Jitsu outside the venue first. Um, and I remember going to
right.
watch him, and he's there with like this like 5XL t-shirt on that's down to his knees. He's got like a pair of stockings tied round his head, and then like a travel pillow like over the top of the stockings on his head, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is nuts. But
Oh my god. It's like a rapper's Halloween costume.
yeah,
That's what he looks like. It looks like a fucking or Saturday Night Live sketch of like a Texas rapper, but it's actually him. I'd be so interested to meet him, man, to see what he's at, because I don't think the thing is like he's playing a bit of a character, but it's like what is that character based on? Like, is this? like what is he meant to be? Like, am I just so out of touch with the culture that he comes from, just not realize like the shit's weird, man. Like it's like mad like wigger homoerotic fucking Texas gangster. What? Who
Yeah.
who who fucking raps like the Tasmanian devil? Like what the fuck? It's so strange.
So the best thing is as well is Michael White versus Soljitsu is the first live battle that my girlfriend ever saw. Um, and
Oh
she said,
yes, welcome to battle rap.
yeah.
She'd like turn into you like, oh, this is what is. I didn't think this is what it was going to be.
So Michael White starts his round and he says something like, "You look like Dave Chappelle," which to Soljitsu is quite funny. Um,
Right.
and then he turns it into like, "You look like Dave Chappelle's sister had sex with Dave Chappelle." And then I took the baby that was
Oh
made,
my god.
and that turned out to be the baby I raped, and I called it Baby Dave or something like that. And
Oh my
I'll
god.
never forget my girlfriend just turning to me, being like, "Have we really come all the way to fucking London for this?" And yeah, yeah, she's not
Yeah,
been
this is
back to
what.
an event since.
Did you spend a lot of time explaining to her like how really good battle rap was as well? Like, no, listen, it's like really clever and like there's all kinds of wordplay and it's like really creative and imaginative. And then first battle, Michael White talking about raping Dave Chappelle's incest baby, and it's like you fucking lied to me. Like,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was a weird moment to be fair. But he battled Pedro like later that day at the event, and I didn't even bother watching the
yeah,
battle. I went straight outside to be honest. But yeah,
I
weird
seen
one.
that battle and it wasn't. I think it was maybe the wrong battle for the type of event because it was a big event. Uh,
Yeah, it was the
it's a big
O'Shea
stage
main
and
event, if I remember rightly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I do remember watching it and being like, this is just strange. This is wrong, man. And I think Pedro that weekend battled like 5 times or something,
Yeah,
and didn't go like stayed up on a bender the whole time. Like he hadn't slept. It was very clear. Like Pedro was quite fucking mad with it when he was battling Michael White. But yeah, fuck's sake. I didn't expect this interview to turn into a long conversation about Michael White.
neither did I, to be fair. But quite a few have ended up being about Michael White as well, which is interesting.
Yeah. You should get him on the show.
I have tried. I've tried really hard, but I can't get in touch with him, unfortunately. But
Uh,
yeah, I'm gonna keep trying. I
that's
need
a
to get him
shame.
on. But
Hopefully you do, man. I
yeah,
don't think he does interviews that much either, and I think that speaks to the fact that a lot of what he does as a character, because like you can keep that up for a battle when it's whatever, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Like you try to keep that up for a full hour-long interview. I think would be a bit fatiguing.
well, for me, I've said this to a few people now. Like I'm always fascinated by how long it takes people to get to battle events, like in America and stuff, because I've never been there, but like I realize that it's a huge country.
Oh, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. Like I went 2 years ago when I was on the No Coast tour. Um, like we drove from St. Louis to Chicago. It's a 6 hour drive, and it's pretty much a straight road for 6 hours with nothing. Like it's the most boring drive in the world. We did stop at like one of the little turn off places. We stopped at a place that sold like it had a McDonald's, and then there was like a massive emporium that sold like fireworks and gift like gift items. Uh, but yeah, it's actually mad the distance that people go in America to go to things, but it's just normal. Like it's
Yeah.
normal to be like, oh yeah, it's a 2 hour drive or whatever, or it's normal to be like, oh yeah, I flew out here, it's like whatever 2 3 hour flight. Like whereas in the UK, it's like, and especially in Scotland, it's like try to get people to fucking take a 45-minute bus journey or go up the road for an event, and they just don't want to do it. Like, like I live in Renfrew, which is like just like 15 minutes away from Glasgow. Uh, Renfrewshire, like the main town, is Paisley. and they've got like fucking venues and shit. There are events that happen there sometimes, but see, trying to convince people from Glasgow to to come to Paisley for an event, it just generally just doesn't happen. They're like, well, I need to take the number 9 bus, and fucking it only stops running at fucking midnight. I'm not doing that. Fuck off, mate. Come to Glasgow, man. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, it's similar here, to be fair, but yeah, it's just like ever since hearing, I was listening to like the Dirtbag Dan show, I think it was, and like they were saying that so Michael White had literally just come back from battling in the UK, so obviously he'd flown over here, and then they booked him on San Jose, but he refused to fly, so he got a Greyhound from
Oh,
like where he lives in Texas, which is kind of right on the Mexican border, I think.
Hmm.
Like all the way to San Jose, and it's like to me at the time I was
That's
thinking,
that's got to be like what, fucking 2 days or something.
yeah, apparently it took him 3.5 days each way.
Oh my god! Oh my god, man! I did I did the Chicago to Boston train, the Amtrak, when I was in the US, and that took 20 hours, and that was like enough for me. Like 20 hours on that train is just, especially when you go through the mad like the little town former industrial towns that are now just totally in decline and riddled with like pain pill addiction and shit, and all the kind of cunts that get on the train at like fucking 3 in the morning, just like mad meth heads getting on the train and trying to talk to you, and like it's not good.
No, I can imagine. To be fair, man, like I've done a 20-hour train in Thailand, and that was rough enough. To be fair, so
Oh, that's got to be rougher than the one in America. The one in America at least had like big American-sized chairs that reclined. I imagine the Thailand train is like a rickety bamboo motherfucker that
mate, do you know
no
what?
seats, you just
We
stand.
had like bunk beds and all sorts. It wasn't bad, to be
Yeah,
fair. Like, yeah, it
that
was.
sounds decent to me. That sounds better than the one I was on.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't
It's
bad at all,
definitely
actually.
definitely better than the megabus. Let me tell you, anyone who's sleeping on Scottish rappers has never done the megabus from fucking Glasgow to London and back again. Right? It's fucking between 9 and 10 hours each way. It's always fucking packed. There's there's just some of the people who take the megabus are the dregs of society, including myself. You know what I mean? So it's like yeah, you do that megabus and then talk shit about Scottish rappers, especially ones who come from further north than Glasgow, because Rise has done it from fucking Inverness to London. That's like fucking 14 hours or some shit like that.
Fuck that. Yeah, that's mental, to be fair. But
Yeah.
yeah, fair play to you guys. Like, I know Soul's brought that up quite a few times as
Oh yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like,
So said that in his C major battle. He's talking about fucking doing 8 hour bus rides and shit. I did appreciate that because yeah, it's more of a grind. That's why I get pissed off. Like I've turn up to events in London, and there's people who live like literally down the road from the venue who just don't show up, and I've come for like 8 hours on the megabus.
yeah, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, man. But yeah, I mean, with yourself though, like what kind of stands out for you as like your favorite battle that you've been a part of so far then?
um, I really liked the first battle I did on No Coast against Jay Walker,
Yeah,
just because I think it was a good battle. I was having a battle hosted by Lush One, which was a big fucking moment for me because he's one of the dudes who's just so recognizable and such a centerpiece in the battle rap culture. And also, like that weekend was just brilliant. Me, Bowski, Mickey Worthless, Canal, uh, over in Minneapolis. Just great memories from that whole time. So that one's pretty high up. I really like the battle that I did against Omar, uh, the at the final King of the Ronalds event, because it was one of these things where it's like that's actually a mad story behind that battle because he very 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 nearly didn't make it. He'd flown over from Canada and he got food poisoning on the day of the battle, and like bad food poisoning. Like he thought he was going to have to go to hospital, but he made it to the venue, and I could tell he was fucked. Made it to the venue, and then classic Rhodes fucking fashion, we go overtime and get kicked out the venue. Right, the event runs over, we get kicked out the venue, so we have to battle in a park. And by that time, Omar's actually feeling better. Like he feels like he might not have to immediately go to the hospital straight after the battle. So we just did it in the park down the road from the venue. And yeah, like his rounds were long as fuck, but I was actually enjoying listening to them. He clearly
Yeah.
put a lot of effort into it, and I had some of the edgiest material that I've done with regards to, you know, him being a cancer survivor, which I have so much respect for him coming back after. But obviously, people were going to expect me to say something about it. So yeah, I said something about it, and the reactions I got from it were just crazy. So like, I really, even though it's not the biggest battle I've done, the biggest crowd or whatever, that's one of my favorites for sure.
That makes sense, man. Yeah, and like I've had Bill Blaze on the show as well, so I know he spent a
Oh
lot of
yeah, yeah,
time with
that's my
you
guy.
over in No Coast the
Yeah,
first time, and then obviously you've been back to ECCM and stuff since too. But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
I was
man.
saying to him, sorry, go
Yeah,
on, man.
go ahead. No, no, I was gonna say just like I stayed with him for like 2 weeks when I was over there, and like yeah, very very good guy, like salt of the earth guy. Shout out Bill Blaze every time. That's my dude.
Yeah, yeah, I'd become like a big fan of what ECCM were doing, so it's exciting to see them come part of No Coast as well. I think that's a perfect fit. But like
Yeah, definitely.
I was saying to him, like especially at the time when you guys went to No Coast, like it was so interesting to see in the sense of you, Mickey, Kinnell, and Bowski is like the broadest range of UK accents that you can find as
Right.
well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it seems to go really
Really
well.
diverse. Yeah, really
Definitely.
diverse. And all of us have totally different styles and approaches to battle rap as well. But yeah, it was. I think that was a good little crew to represent the UK for sure. We had apart from Northern Ireland, there was no Northern Irish person, but yeah, all the regions were well represented. I think.
Yeah, definitely. And Canal was saying something about how so where Canal battled in like the basement of that house. That's
Yeah,
the guy that owned the house is the guy that Lex was kind of outing as a
yeah,
was fucking mental.
yeah. AC Vader. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, man. I don't know. AC Vader is like a really intense. Like when I met him, he seemed like very intense, but he seemed very. He was just passionate, and just like he was so fucking happy that he got to have this international rap battle thing in his basement. But like really, like he had this like really fucking intense kind of energy about him and shit. But I never. Obviously, I didn't spend that much time with him, but like a lot of the No Coast boys seem to be like mates with him, or like on good enough terms with him where like they were sound. So I never pegged him as being a fucking worse cunt like that. But Jesus fucking Christ, uh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Never trust anybody who's in their 20s and has grey hair, because they have that for a reason. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how they appear to you, how nice they seem, or whatever. If a motherfucker is 26 and has a full grey head of hair like your dad, stay away from him. That hair has gone grey for a reason. They're hiding some secrets.
That's it. Yeah, sound advice. To be fair, I'll
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Also, never trust a hipster.
fair point. No, that's fair enough, man. But yeah, like some of the battles that I've kind of caught up on recently with yourself as well, like they're pretty criminally underviewed, to be honest. Like the recent one with Bacon over at ECCM, like
Oh yeah,
that's such a good matchup as well. Like Bacon he's
bacon's
amazing,
sick.
right?
Bacon is sick. Yeah, man, it was that was just a random one that Bill Blaze was just putting together random online battles, and He just matched me up with Bacon. I watched like one of his battles, and I was like, okay, this guy's pretty good. So, yeah, I would love if I do go back out to Massachusetts again. He'd be the guy that I would battle. I would like to battle him IRL because I think me and him would have a really good fucking clash for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
yeah, but he needs more ratings, Bacon for sure. I think if he gets a couple good fucking performances under his belt, like yeah, man, he's on the way.
Definitely. Yeah, I like that a lot. And like, yeah, the Omar battle was that the last King of the Ronalds event then? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. Last one.
Nice. And
Last one, 5 years. That was Mickey's 5 year plan. Mickey's 5 year plan was actually to make King of the Ronalds the biggest league in the UK and put Don't Flop out of business and then end it. So there would be no more battle rap in the UK. He would just kill it out of spite. But obviously it didn't fucking go down that way, did it? It went down rather predictably, just like another King of the Ronalds event. Like the card, it was a really good event. Like I can't like the atmosphere there was great because there was a load of people that I hadn't seen in years. There was, people came from all over to just come and be part of just this farewell thing, and yeah, the atmosphere, it was just a really good positive atmosphere about the whole day. But like the card wasn't nothing special. But I think that's like the way to end King of the Ronalds. That you don't want to have a big blowout event. Like if you're ending it, you might as well have fucking Lil Macy versus Max Sherry on the card. You might as well put me against the cancer survivor. Like, yeah, let's just do it.
yeah, it's a fair shout. And like, so with your battles personally, I've missed most of the Ronalds era. Like I lived abroad for a long time and stuff. And like I only ever made it to two King of the Ronalds events in the end. One of which I got to see you battle on, which was the event as a whole was a bit of a shambles to be honest. But I think it was like the hardest man in the pub event in Manchester where you battled Matter.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a shit show.
Yeah, it was
That
just
was a shit show.
I remember getting there and like it was one of the own I've not been to Manchester that much just getting there from Cardiff to Ball Lake, but like I think it was
Yeah.
like the third event that I've ever been to there and like I remember getting there, finding out that Fighter had no-showed a battle despite being in the building.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Um, Els had no-showed despite living about 4 streets away from the venue.
Yep, yep, yep,
And it was just like, what the fuck is going on kind of thing. But like
yep, yep.
getting to Battle Matter like at that time as well must have been quite exciting, I guess. Like with
Yeah,
Ronald, you'd
I
always
was.
kind of taken names that were on the come up, if that makes sense. So getting to Battle Matter must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a fan of Matters, and I like the battle that we had, despite the fact that the crowd was very small and there was other kind of fuckeries like the memory card and the camera ran out halfway through. Like Matter had to restart his second,
Yeah,
like, and shit like that. But like, yeah, man, and actually, people in Glasgow. Uh, Paid, I think, more attention to it than they normally do the rest of some of my King of Ronalds battles because Matters known in Scotland because he battled both Soul and Gasp like early on, and at the time that both Soul and Gasp battled him, like Matter was a big fucking deal within UK battle rap. I'm not saying that he isn't now, but like he was seen as being like one of the fucking top cunts. Uh, so yeah, I did like my battle with Matter, and I liked how it went over. Like I actually fucked up my bars crazy on the day. In the second round, I like flipped. I like did the round in the wrong order, and then I said some of the bars from the third as well. Like I just mixed everything up crazy, and then so I didn't. my rounds in both the second and the third don't have a strong closer because I just like jumbled up the bars, and so I was just like, right, fuck it, I'm done. Like I think I said at one point, like, I've killed you already, bro. Like, I'm done. But yeah, it was good battling Matter. I'm gutted. Me and Matter were going to rematch on Beat at the Beat Horizon event.
Oh
Uh,
shit. Okay.
yeah, and that would have been the biggest O2 Arena in Brixton. That would have been the biggest crowd I would have ever performed in front of. What, it was like 4,000 people or something like that.
Was that where
And
Bills are Johnny Storm happened?
that's
Is that
right.
right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and Hulk. Fuck, who did Hulk battle? I can't remember. But yeah, yeah. So it was supposed to be me versus Matter, and Matter pulled out like on the week of that event. And I never really got. I'm sure there was. I'm sure he did have a good reason for it, but I never really got too clear of an explanation as to why. But so I mean, I was very, very, very disappointed about that because that was like I've got certain goals within battle rap, and pretty much all of them I've achieved. But one of my main goals that I've not achieved yet is to battle in front of like an arena of people, like battle in a big stage. Um, and well, we'll see what the future holds anyway. We'll see what the future holds. I'm definitely. I've still got the bars that I wrote for him, and I was aiming to take his fucking head off again, man. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can figure out for the future.
Nice. Yeah, man, that'd be good to see. And like, I think I've got a feeling it's going to be a very long time before any league are able to book a venue of anywhere near that size, unfortunately. But fingers crossed that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
once
Or
things are
any
back to
event
normal,
at
then
all, like those battles, like realistically, they were put on the Beat Horizon card as kind of like one of the opening acts for the main show, which was Mos Def and who Ghostface Killer, I think, was there as well. But yeah, so it was those battles were kind of the opening act, and like when I watched the footage back from the battles that did go down, I kind of seen like the crowd were like they were just watching it like they would watch any other opening act. Like they weren't too into who the battlers were. I think most of the people didn't even fucking realize who the battlers were. But so yeah. I mean, I could. That's maybe just me trying to make myself feel better about not getting to do it. But I know how. I mean, big up the guys who did do it because it's a good look regardless being a part of something like that.
yeah, definitely. And I do see what you mean. Like the crowd weren't particularly receptive towards it in that sense, but like for me, there was a few weird decisions made anyway. Like why are you putting Johnny Storm against Bill Czar, who's much better on grime when you've got Press One as your champion,
Right.
and
Yeah.
just little things like that. I mean, it just didn't make any
Yeah.
sense to me. But
It's kind of a weird one, yeah. I know what you mean. Like Johnny Storm is fucking fire, especially freestyling. Like he's actually one of the best freestylers that I've seen. And with freestyle boom bap type shit, he kills it. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like that's not really Belzar's lane, and Belzar's fire on grime. So like, why not do that? I don't fucking know. It was kind of weird decisions. It was a weird decision. I can't remember. I cannot for the life of me remember who Hulk battled, but it was not. It wasn't somebody who was like big on the scene or whatever. It was somebody whose name I've totally forgotten. Like it was that.
was
It was
it
that
was it
sort of.
Trademark Blood or whatever his name is, or was that in
No, 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 no.
Shrewsbury?
They battled in Shrewsbury. That was a Trademark Blood is fire, bro. Trademark Blood is crazy. He comes up to Scotland a lot. Actually, he's done a lot of shows up here. He's good. He's mates with my boy Conscious Root out in Edinburgh. So like, yeah, I've seen him perform in Scotland a couple of times. But yeah, he's like on beat. He's crazy. He could be one of the best on beat if he keeps battling people. Because he's got such good control of the crowd because he's a sort of like party MC or whatever. He's got bars and he's got like deep shit as well. He's not, but he knows how to get a crowd fucking hyped, and he knows what to do to just make people react. Which in an on-beat battle does actually still count for a lot, rather than just doing clever bars and schemes or whatever. You have to do shit that will make the crowd fucking jump.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, from what I've seen of him, which I think is only the whole battle, and like I think I've heard a couple of tracks of his and stuff. Like he does seem good, to be fair. But
He's really
like
good.
the the only other time that I've ever got to see you battle personally is the terminal battle at the Empire event.
Oh
Um,
yeah, shit. That's actually one of my favorite battles too. I really like that battle.
I was gonna say I think that would have to be my favorite personally, just because like I didn't know who to predict would win going into that battle because I thought you were both kind of at a very similar level. But
Hmm.
you like I thought Terminal was still decent and I thought you took it 3-0 pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
Like it was an amazing performance, man. I like
Yeah, he was good. I think he faltered a little bit in his third round, I remember. He had like a couple of little stumbles and shit. But he was good still. Like he went first. I think he chose to go first, and it was the first round of the day, and his first round was great, and it was really well received. And then yeah, just fucking beat him down for 3 rounds, and yeah, uh, I was wondering how far I should push the Irish angle when I was writing it because like obviously Glasgow there's a lot of Irish people, like I've got quite a lot of mates of like Irish heritage and shit, and obviously as you know like it's a very contentious thing, in this part of the country. And I knew Terminal would mention something like he had a bar that was like fuck this cocky Protestant. He just lets his talking body him like Tommy Robinson. Uh, and I knew he was gonna mention something about the fact that I'm from like Protestant like heritage. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit, by the way, sectarianism or any of that bullshit. Like I'm not with any of that. But like I knew he was gonna do that, so then I was like, right, you want like you let's take it to this level then. Let's go. I'm going to come with some anti-Irish shit and show up wearing a Scottish rugby jersey with Help for Heroes on it. Like, it's subtle things like that, man. And, but I won a battle in Ireland too. It's meant to have happened a couple of times, and both times it just fell through. So like, yeah, that's one of my goals for when shit kind of opens up a little again, and we're trying allowed to travel again. And shit, I want to get out to Ireland because the
yeah,
Irish crowd look great.
they do, yeah, yeah. I was meant to go over for the recent Broken Resolutions event and I had to cancel like 4 days before, so I want to get over there myself. But we're finally going to see you on Premier Battles at some point soon as well, right?
Yeah, man, I was supposed to battle another Irish guy. I was supposed to battle Johnny Darko, and that obviously never happened because of the shutdown. Yeah, so I was talking to Briggsy last week actually about their plans for the rest of the year and how they do potentially want to do something in Scotland. So I would definitely be with that. I would definitely be part of that. But even if they don't decide to do some shit in Scotland, I still want to battle on that platform because it's the last sort of UK platform that I've not been on yet, and I was
Yeah,
meant to be on. I was meant to be on last year. I was meant to be part of the Knights team, and again, shit just never happened because of situations that they had over there. With their Apex event kind of falling apart in the way that it did. They couldn't continue with the team format and have all the events that they wanted and all that type of shit. So like, yeah, but yeah, definitely for either this year or next year Premier battles, I'm trying to get on that.
yeah, that'd be great to see, man. And looking forward to that. I think the Johnny Darko matchup's a good one as well. Like it would have been great to see. So hopefully
That would
that
have been good. He's
eventually
really
gets
good.
rescheduled. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's really really good. Yeah, I want to battle guys like him, man, because I think it would actually be a real challenge to battle somebody like Johnny Darko because he's so well rounded. Um, but yeah, I would definitely love to get in there and do that shit.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great to see, man. And like, have you got any other plan? I know the pandemic situation's kind of put everything in the air, but have you got any other plans to like go back overseas, or like, is there anywhere left for you that you want to go?
I mean, like ideally, like yeah, there's a few places that I want to go, but I was at the start of the year like planning to go back out and battle an eye battle again because I want to do another eye battle thing. But fuck knows, fuck knows if I'm going to be like realistically, even if I get the money together to do it, which I know I will be able to do. Uh, yeah, just travel restrictions and everything else and all that bullshit. Like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll maybe hold off till next year before doing that again because it's been 2 years since my eye battle thing, the battle I did against Luminous, my eye battle, and I know Lex has been keen to get me out again. So yeah, just whatever we can figure, whatever works.
Yeah, nice, man. Like, for me personally, right now, I think iBattle's probably the league that I watch the most. I
Hmm.
just love what they're doing over there. So the more we get to
Yeah.
see kind of British battlers go over, the better. And I mean, you were the first to go over, right?
I believe so. I believe I'm the first person from the UK to battle an eye battle.
It's amazing. That's
And
sick, man.
since then, quite a few people have done it. Like most probs, Canel's done it. Z from Scotland, like he's gone over there a couple of times now. So like, yeah, I mean they're very open to people from the UK doing their shit and other people from other parts of the world. And there has been talk of iBattle doing a joint event with Premier Battles, which would be insane.
That's kind of what I
Because
want to see the most, to be completely
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Like, the guys from iBattle that have been over here have been some of the best internationals that we've booked for years. So
oh yeah, yeah, because they actually try.
exactly.
And but it's because it's guys that are on the come up, like guys that are already established and have maybe already done a lot of things that they wanted to accomplish. Like at a certain point, they're just coming to get the bag. But like with the eye battle dudes, like I don't know what the situation is with like how much they're getting for doing it or what they're getting compensated with, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out like even if some of them have been like funding doing this themselves because they're just so hungry for it, like they're so uh they're yeah, like somebody like Real Seek for example, that's one of the best, if not the best, showings of an American rapper in the UK, like ever. Like it's up there.
Yeah.
Same with Red Flag, same with like Dunsh, like all of these guys. They really do put work in. So I really appreciate that. I'd like to get like one of these guys out to Scotland at some point. I was planning to do a big event this year, and I was looking at the end of the summer. Obviously, that ain't gonna happen now. But yeah, I do want to try and get something together for the end of the year in Scotland and do a sort of bigger Iron Bars event if I can, if I even can, because right now booking venues uh, and all that, and how venues are going to open up, what kind of regulations they're going to have in place. Like, can you imagine having a rap battle crowd that's socially distanced? It's not going to work.
No, it's not.
Rap battles work when it's a tight crowd and everyone's fucking tight in and fucking like that's how you get the energy when it's so like everyone has to stand 2 meters apart from each other. It's not gonna fucking work. So like we're gonna have to find workarounds for it, definitely. Workarounds.
Yeah.
Say no more actually. I was talking to some last night about obviously this is hypothetical. This is not the next thing that I'm going to say is all of this is happening not in real life but in Minecraft. In Minecraft, talking hypothetically about hypothetically doing a Minecraft uh, illegal battle event in a Minecraft place somewhere that we can get access to with
Okay.
other Minecraft battle fans. Allegedly.
Okay. Say no more.
Allegedly, somebody was, yeah. All of that was just me rehearsing dialogue from a screenplay that I've written.
I like it. Nice, man. But yeah, I mean, like, I need to make it up to Scotland for an event at some point. So if you are able to do one at the end of the year, I'd try and make it up for that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the Premier Battles Academy this year, and they're planning on doing their first event in about 5 weeks' time, and I just can't see it happening personally. Like we're not.
Oh, 5 weeks.
Yeah, they
Well, I
want
mean,
to
you could
do
do.
it
I mean,
the
I
7th
don't
of
know,
July.
man. That does seem kind of soon. I mean, I know the business is opening up down south again, but I thought like pubs and venues are still going to remain closed for a while. Is that not the case? I don't really know. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of it. Can't see it happening. Well, I mean, it might happen, but I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I know that Briggsy owns like him and his cousin own like a vape shop, and I think they were planning to do it there.
Right.
But
Okay. Okay. That sort of makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. To be honest, as long I'd rather them delay it a bit longer than do another video round because I hated doing the video stuff, to be fair. But yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. But like, I'm guessing in terms of yourself, I'm guessing that we're going to see you as a big part of like the No Coast UK division then.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to be battling on the card that they're putting together. They were aiming to do it in September. Again, hopefully that's able to actually happen because I do know what the card was, and it's a very, very good card. And I'm not going to reveal who I'm going to be battling, but yeah, it's somebody from No Coast who I really rate and whose style I really respect. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. I think.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, man. Like I just think it's gonna have a bit of a Ronald-esque feel to it as well. Like
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm just really excited to have that back, and I'll be at the first event for sure. But
Yeah.
like exciting times as well. I mean, there's so many battlers from No Coast in particular that wouldn't normally get the opportunity to come over here, which could now become possible. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Human, I'm a giant fan of Human. I think he's amazing.
Hmm.
XQZ as well, and like I'm a big fan of Roe personally. Like I know he was on your live stream recently, and he was
Yeah.
incredible. Um,
Ro is the man. I love Ro. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be good. And as I was saying about like the iBattle dudes coming over, like it's I think you're going to see from a lot of these no coast guys like the first time they've been to the UK, they're going to come with a lot of I think a lot of passion, a lot of enthusiasm. I think you're going to see some great performances.
100%. Yeah, man, and I'm quite heavily pushing for Roe versus Bacon at the moment.
That'd be a good battle. That'd be
That'd
a
be
good
amazing.
battle.
I think they fit really well, but yeah,
Yeah.
like
I
just
want to see
excited for that.
Roe versus Homeschool on iBattle. That's the battle I
Mm,
want to see.
yeah, I like that.
Autism Showdown. Ultimate Bars Autism Showdown. Be amazing.
Yeah, that would be crazy. And like homeschool, man, like I feel sorry for that guy because he's every battle that he's done in the last 6 or 7 battles for iBattle, they've been like the kind of performance where he should be winning clearly. Yeah,
Mm,
he just comes up against these freak of nature
right, yeah.
performances. Like
They
it's
really are throwing
incredible.
the kid in at the deep end these days. I met Homeschool when I was over in New York, and yeah, he's a cool dude, but and like very like as you would imagine, like quite socially reserved, like maybe a little bit socially awkward. Uh, but like the when he starts battling, when he starts rapping, like the boy's got bars, like he's got like mad conviction about them as well, and he's got this voice that doesn't really fit how he looks. He's got like quite a deep voice and quite a resonant voice, and so like all of that really works very well together. Uh, but I think the kind of rapper he is, he kind of does need to be the underdog all the time. So they keep putting him against people like Ellipsis, for example. Like yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what the future holds for Homeschool. battle wise, because he's got the makings to be like a little legend, to be honest. Like I think he could really fuck some people up on the right platform. But could you ever see Homeschool doing like a PG?
I know he applied for this thing that Lex was putting together, like the
Yeah, the
Crucible, but
Crucible.
I would have loved to have seen it. And like on that subject, like I love that Lex has been put in charge of that. Like the people that he's put forward would never get that opportunity otherwise. Like XQZ's made it onto it, and
Yeah.
I think Ellipsis did as well, actually. But
Right.
that's amazing. But I've I had Homeschool on the podcast as well as one of the earlier episodes, and I also had Lazy Ass Jack on, and I kind of put them on to each other.
All right.
I kind of want to see that happen.
That would be good. Yeah. That would be very different. That's they are. I see the similarities there for sure. Like Lazy's another one, man, who's like so unusual. Like he's such an unusual guy, and he does have bars, and he actually does really respect the craft of battle rap and all the rest of it. But he's just so, like, as I said, unusual. He's so lanky. He's so tall. He's the tallest person I've ever met in my life. Like he is legit about 7 foot tall, and he's so posh sounding. He's so fucking posh. I've never met a posher sounding cunt. Lazy Art, honestly, man, honestly. But he's got fucking bars, and like I think his problem is that he comes underprepared sometimes. He's had battles where he's had good material, but he's just fucked up the performance. He's choked a lot. Like when I battled him in Glasgow, like he came out with a couple good bars, and he came out with a good kind of approach to it, and then he just fucked it because he just choked because he just wasn't in. Guess he just wasn't prepared enough, and he wasn't in the right headspace and shit. And like, fair enough, but like, yeah, a well prepared Lazy Arse Jack against Homeschool would be a very interesting battle.
Yeah, agreed. And Lazy is the only person that I've ever come across at a battle rap event that's taller than me as well. So I got a bit of beef with him on that front. But yeah, I think Lazy would go down really well on iBattle as well. So I just think it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that'd be good to see. But yeah, very, very much looking forward to No Coast coming over here when that's like up and running, man. That would be great. But like, apart from that, have you got sort of like a hit list? Is there anyone left that you do really want to battle?
Yeah, there's quite a few people I want to battle. Like I've got like dream battles that would never happen because I don't even want to like battle like the biggest names. It's just like people who I really fuck with that it would just be so interesting to see. Like O Solo. I love O Solo, and I would love to battle O Solo. I think O Solo is just dope. And I know that's a battle that would maybe never happen, or like actually a battle that could happen that I would be very interested in doing is Jack Tripper. I would like to battle Jack Tripper a lot, and I actually know one of his boys, Father Focus Confucius. Traveled with him a little bit when I was over in the States. So like yeah, man, I'd like to battle him. Like UK battlers, I don't know. Like people said for years that I should battle Soul, and that would be a battle that I would be very interested in. But it would need to be set up in the right way and hyped and promoted in the right way. And I think I would need to. Like battle rap's all about momentum. Like if you get a good run of battles, like with good people, then like people start talking about you more, and that's when battles against either bigger names or people who are more well established make a lot more sense. So I think I would need to get a good run of battles, like before going to somebody like Soul. Also Scottish guys, I would at some point like to battle Acre. But again, that would be another one that I think we'd need to kind of contextualize it in a way that would make sense. Because Acre, I really fuck with what Acre does. I think he's one of the best writers in Scotland, for sure. So yeah, that would be That would be an interesting one too. And I want to do a grime clash before I'm out. I've never done one, and I want to do like either some kind of grime clash. I don't know against who, but yeah. If Dialect starts doing the talk is cheap events again, I'd be up for doing something.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be good to see as well. And I've always like I don't know if this has been suggested before, but I really like the idea of you versus Raptor.
Yeah, I think people have suggested that before. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a. I mean, I would do it if it was offered to me. It's not like one that's on my list or nothing like that. Yeah, I don't know. You can't ginger virgin poet somebody twice. You
It's
know, I
true.
don't think that's gonna work. I'd like to battle Craft D as well. I would really like to battle Craft D.
Yeah.
And people have been wanting to set that up for ages. Snoop wanted to set that up on Gift of the Gab, which I just think is such a fun, visually funny image. Like just a room full of black dudes watching these two gingers battle. Like just a picture of that would just be so strange, just so odd. Yeah, we found the two ginger battle rappers. Now we're gonna make them battle.
No, I quite like
I
that.
love it,
But
but I would like to do it. Obviously, Gab. I don't think Gab's a thing anymore. They're doing no loose chat now. Shit. Oh yeah, actually talking about Gab, I would. Me and Rivers have been talking about battling for a long time. I think
mm,
me and Rivers could have a real classic.
definitely, yeah, that'd be good. I mean, I didn't know anything about Messi 13 before you battled him, and I
Oh,
really like that battle, man.
mate, that's one of my favorites too, actually. Yeah, I knew I'd seen him battle once, against I can't remember who it was, Suspect, I think. And I was like, yeah, he was, kind of good, whatever. Like he had good bars. Went and watched he'd only had like maybe 4 or 5 battles by the time we battled. So I went and watched a couple of them. I'm like, yeah, he's got bars, blah blah blah. Like he's not. I didn't really think they had the big presence or whatever. And you know, I literally did underestimate him. But then when it came to our battle, like from his first round, and I think like that I got the first round. I think quite clearly. I got much bigger reactions and bigger. It was more consistent. And then my second, it wasn't hitting the same way as the first. And then when he got to his third so fucking good, so well constructed. I was like, damn, like I knew at that point, like it doesn't matter what I do now, like I'm not clawing this back. Like it was neck and neck up until that third, but yeah, he did get me on the third. But yeah, I want to see. I think he's away now, Messi 313. But yeah, when he gets back, I do hope that he continues with it. He's one of these guys. I think a lot of Gab dudes are like this. Or not just Gab dudes. There's a lot of people who've been like this over the years, where they're like really good, obviously talented. Obviously, if they got like a little push and good battles here and there, then they'd be considered top tier or whatever. But like, he just can't stop himself from winding people up on the internet. He just can't stop himself from trolling people and talking shit about people and all that. And it's at one point it's like, yeah, well that's battle rap, that's what you should do. But a lot of people just don't see it like that. They see it as like there's the kind of like a pecking order, and if like you could troll some people, you can talk shit about some people, but as soon as it comes round to some other people, then it's not cool. And like, yeah, so I think Messi kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit with his conduct there.
Yeah,
But I still fuck with him. I fuck with him, and I want to see him battle again. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Shout out Messi 13, my favourite flat earther.
I didn't know. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
point.
he is.
Yeah,
He
he is.
is
Yeah.
apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he
Oh
still
dear.
believes that. He might. I know that he's like. I know that he's like he's not a Nation of Islam, but he's like he's a black nationalist basically. Uh,
Right.
but yeah. I still kind of fuck with that. That's why I did a lot of bars in our battle about that, but I tried to do it in a clever way. I tried to do it in a way where it was like kind of inside information, do like Yakub references and all that type shit. So like, yeah, um, Aye, man, shout out Messi. Let's bring Messi 13 back, man. We need characters like that. We need people like him, you know. There's nobody else like that. That's why I like Gab so much. Like Temple of Surfer, there's another dude. Like he could have like you could put him in front of a lot of just fucking top tier cunts and he'd hold his own, I think. But again, like
Agreed.
he's and he's a character, but we need more of that kind of shit in battle rap, I think. It'd be good to get
Yeah, I completely
Surfer
agree.
on a live stream battle, but I don't know if he'd do it. He's really selective about who he battles, and also he's he doesn't battle that often. I think he just much prefers to get stoned on Facebook live streams and just talk shit about people, which is fair.
Yeah, fair one. I have quite enjoyed some of those lives as well. But
Yeah.
he's the problem I always found with Gab personally is I found that they were way too kind of inclusive. Like it was just they had a roster of battlers that would just battle each other until they were out of battles, if that makes sense. And it's
Yeah, and then like all of the guys who were like this very small roster like started like not wanting to battle each other or like no showing each other. Like that happened a few times at a few Gab events I was at. No, I do get what you're saying, but yeah, they're trying to make the most of like a small group of people. I think Gab battles are at the best when they expand out uh they expand out of their little roster and they get people from outside, like myself, who's been on Gab. Like Lazy was on a Gab event, and like there's loads of people they've got on, like fucking Pedro. Like I battled Pedro on Gift of the Gab.
yeah,
That was a fucking crazy one. But I like what they do because they're very passionate about battle rap, and even if their events are small and there's not a lot of people there, it still feels very live because people really react to bars and they do appreciate all kinds of different styles and shit like that. And they actually do listen for bars and they appreciate wordplay and all that type of shit. So like yeah. I mean I hope they have success, with no loose chat.
me
Um,
too. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing them kind of get going. The event that they had planned looked really good, and like they were giving a lot of people quite a big look. Like Crash from Cardiff, for example, was
oh
getting
yeah,
his
yeah.
first like international, which I've wanted to see for a while. And yeah, be good to see what they bring to the table. Like Yunnan Oops would have been incredible as well, to be fair. And like
That would have been nuts, actually. Yeah.
I think they had Tally versus Lotta Zay booked as well, which would have been really good. But
See, that's weird though. Like Tally versus Lotta Zay. Like who? I some like I appreciate Tally's very good, but like and Lotta Zay I've not really seen that many. I've seen a few of his battles, but like this is the thing. That battle's gonna cost money getting Lotte over and doing all this shit and blah blah blah. But like, who outside of a very small group of battle rap fans is really choking to see a battle like that? Do you know what I mean?
I do see what you mean. Yeah,
And
it
a
is a bit
battle like
weird.
that is also probably not going to attract any more new fans than like any of the other battles that would be on a card like that. So like I think this is maybe a little problem that I do have with how some people here do it is that they're very willing to part with a lot of money and bring over US talent, which is great because it expands things out and people can create connections and blah blah blah. That's all good, but like at some point, a lot of the overseas talent, they're not actually bringing any, or they're making new fans in the UK, but they're not bringing any fans of theirs to to over their attention to what we're doing. It's obviously if it was a big name, fucking like Arsenal, obviously, when he battled Shotty, that did a huge amount for fucking the visibility of Don't Flop. And like, so yeah, or if it's people who are really hot at a certain time, like I know New Jersey Twerk would, he's meant to have been battled in the UK a couple of times and it didn't happen, but like he would bring attention. But with somebody like Lotte Zay, and no disrespect to him or what he does, but like, what's that really going to do in terms of in terms of broadening out the awareness of a product. It's a battle that people who are putting these events together, who are big fans of battle rap, want to see. And I understand where that comes from, because I could have the very same problem if I was if I had a lot of money to work with. I would just book nothing but battles that I want to see, and it just probably would not be financially viable at all. But you know what I mean. These things happen all over the place with gig promotion and shit like that. A lot of promoters just book the kind of shit that they want to see, rather than actually thinking about how what they're booking can, widen out their potential audience.
Yeah, no, I do see what you mean, definitely. And like, I mean, I suppose there's a couple of questionable ones on the card as well. Like, I mean, Crash was gonna battle Automatic Ray, which
I
I
don't know
don't
who that
know.
is.
He's like, he's from Atlanta and he's battled quite a lot of like big names, but on sort of local Atlanta cards.
Mm,
Like I think I'm pretty sure he's battled DNA. Um, he's been on like Bullpen, John John's
mm.
league quite a bit and stuff. And
Yeah,
he
there seems to be a lot of that kind of stuff that happens in the States, where there will be sort of smaller local leagues, or talent from smaller local leagues, who are willing to put down like quite a lot of money to battle bigger names in their own back door, in their own back garden.
yeah,
Back door sounded sus, sorry about that. But like so yeah, like there's a lot of people who you could find who do that kind of shit to try to up their profile, and they're just really giving hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, to bigger names for like honestly like very little return on it, like a lot of the time. But then sometimes people from other places, parts of the world, will contact them and get him to fly out. Like, wasn't like Don Marino supposed to come out and battle on Gab, or No Loose Chat rather? Like, Don Marino is a guy who like pays a lot of money to other more established battlers so they can battle him, to kind of up his profile.
yeah, yeah. I didn't know that he was on the No Loose Chat card, to be honest. Somebody else told me that the other day, but he's personally someone that I can't get on board with whatsoever either. So it's a bit of a weird decision, but yeah, like Automatic Ray, I don't know if you've heard of Spit That Heat, a league, like I think it's based in Atlanta as well, but he kind of he was like their top guy, so whenever anyone was booked to go there, they'd kind of battle him. So
Right.
he's battled like Briz Rawstein, he's battled T Top,
Okay. Okay.
and then I think he's battled like Danger Zone and Chef Trez and people like that. But he gets views, but hasn't since Spit That Heat stopped, which was probably about 3 years ago now. So it's just a bit of a weird decision, I guess. But yeah, I hope No Loose Chat do well anyway, and I think it's like it seems like they've got a bit more of like a professional approach than they did when they were doing Gab events. So hopefully it worked well for them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'm rooting for them, man, and I definitely they were saying to me about getting in on one of the cards, battling somebody on one of the cards. And yeah, I'm up for it. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're putting together. I like these. Got a lot of time for like Paris and Snoop and that. So definitely will get involved if we can put together a situation that I can fuck with for sure.
Nice, nice man. But yeah, apart from that, that's pretty much all the battle rap related questions done with. The final one is the one that people have found the hardest to answer, but because you kind of promote events anyway, it
hmm
might be a little bit easier. But if you were putting together an event that you had sort of unlimited funds for, what are your kind of dream matchups and what would you put together?
Uh, well, um, I would like to first of all, I would do it in Scotland, probably Glasgow, cause fuck Edinburgh. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, I would, yeah, I would probably do it in Scotland, and the headline battle would be Soul versus Respect BA
Makes
in
sense.
Scotland. And I've heard through the grapevine that there was actually a bidding war for that battle. I don't know who won it, but I've heard that somebody has already laid claim to that battle. But whoever it is, better fucking do it in Scotland because it does not make sense anywhere else.
So, I have no concrete evidence supporting this, so I could be completely wrong. However, Premier Battles announced yesterday that Apex 2 is going to be a 2-day event with 14 UK versus UK battles in Manchester.
Right,
And
right.
I had Briggsy on the show, and I said to him, Soul versus Respect has to happen in Scotland. It can't happen anywhere else.
Yeah.
And he was like, but the thing is if we do it in Scotland, it damages the rest of the card because we struggle to put anybody else on the card with them. Whereas if we do it in anywhere else in the UK, we can throw one big massive card and have other battles of the same caliber all in one event. So I've got a funny feeling that that might be one of the headliners for Apex.
Right.
Like, I could be completely wrong,
I
but
don't. Well, time will tell about that. I did speak to BA a couple weeks ago. And we were talking. It was actually on the live stream I was doing, and we were talking about booking battles for later in the year and how we both felt about it because people were asking us questions about if we were trying to book anything for later in the year, and BA had said like he's not he was in talks to book a battle later in the year that was big, but he didn't. He basically declined to do it because he sees the way he sees it now is things are so up in the air in general with what's going to happen. Is there could they open shit up and then there's going to be a second shutdown? Are venues going to open up but they're going to be regulated to fuck? So like it becomes, if venues can only run at 30% capacity, for example, that's just going to fuck any kind of profitability for events. You know what I mean? So he's had a few experiences in the past where he's had big battles that would been locked in, and then through whatever reason he's prepared for them, and then the shit's just fallen through. And he's very, very tentative about what he takes now, and things need to be guaranteed in place. So I don't know if that's the case, or if he's just obviously if there were secret fucking plans in place to do something, he wouldn't fucking tell me either. Like he'd tell me
yeah.
some shit. He'd let me know enough about it to sort of catch my interest, but he would probably keep a lot of other shit secret, BA's the kind of guy where if you tell him something like something needs to be kept under wraps, like he will take that shit to his fucking grave. Like he's that kind of dude. But yeah, I don't know, man. It has to happen in Scotland, and I don't think that big headline being on the card would damage a Scottish card. You just have to know who the cunts are in Scotland, who people are going to want to see battle. Like, put Bolgen against I don't even want to say because then people are going to start poaching my fucking battle ideas that I want to set up. Like, but yeah, fuck it. Like someday, like for example, Bolgen versus Bobby Rex in a on beat clash.
I was going
Like
to say
in
the exact same.
Scotland, oh my fucking god, that would go off. Like, I mean, there's a plethora of people I could battle. I would like if I was to pick one English MC who would want to battle in Scotland. It would probably be Unanimous. I would love to battle Unanimous in Scotland.
I like that.
Yeah, there's like a few. There's loads of other ones. Like if somebody from back in the day came back and made a return, and especially like if Gasp made a return to battle rap in Glasgow, I've no idea who you'd put him against. It would have to be somebody. It would have to be somebody from maybe a similar era who was also returning. Like I don't know. I mean, like I've had conversations with Gasp as well, and he kind of fell away from battle rap for a really long time. But he has said to me that if it was the right person in the right situation, like he still fucking watches it. He still loves it. He still like follows it. Watches fucking constant battles, but it would have to be somebody who really made sense. But that would go off. That would go off too. If we were to put a big card together up here, it would. But it just needs to be the right finance and the right situations. With Iron Bars, I'm pretty much just me. Like, there's no other team behind it. Scott Early was involved early on at the start, but since the first from the first year when he kind of fell away from it, like it's just been me and me financing it pretty much exclusively. So like
Right.
yeah, so it's difficult to put shit together, and but I'm gonna try for something at the end of the year because this lovely little 3 month holiday that we've all been given has given me a real chance to just fucking save up shitloads of money that I would have been spending otherwise going to fucking events and doing all kinds of other shit. So like yeah, end of the year we're gonna aim for something, and I do hope that regardless of what the card is, that Premier Battles does come up here at some point, because they've been fucking everywhere else. They've been to Ireland. I don't think they've been to Wales yet. Nobody goes to Wales though.
They don't, unfortunately.
Nobody goes
No,
to fucking Wales.
they did have a Premier Battles versus Prime Cut event,
Oh, what?
like
Fucking hell.
pending,
Thank
um,
God.
and then Prime Cut stopped doing events and it all fell
Mm.
through. But
Yeah,
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 it. I mean, there's not exactly a giant crop of battlers in Wales either. We've kind
yeah,
of got about 5 or 6 names really, so
yeah,
it's difficult. Don't Flop came here in the summer, and it was a good event. It had a decent enough turnout, and I know they've got plans to come back. But the problem with Cardiff in particular, like I was actually in the process of organising my own event last year, but venues have pretty much been ordered by the police to not do battle rap events in Cardiff now. Uh,
really.
back when Yeah, when Epic Bars was a league here, which was way before I'd even moved here, so I didn't know a lot about it. Like, the promoter burnt a lot of bridges, and there was a lot of like trouble at events and stuff, and
Right.
they're not particularly willing to have events here. Like, Prime Cut basically did all their events in like a basement of like a backpackers hostel. Um,
That's kind of cool though. I like that shit. I like it
it
when
it
events go
worked.
down in mad places. Like, yeah,
Yeah, like there was a stage down there, so it worked, and like it was quite a low ceiling as well, so
yeah,
the acoustics were good and stuff. You could probably hold, I'd say, about 120 people in there maybe, but like they had a bar upstairs which was really cheap as well, which was good, but it was like probably about a 10-15 minute walk from the city centre, so they had to hold them quite far out of town, which used to impact the amount of people that would turn up as well. And like,
yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare with Cardiff, to be honest. But fingers crossed. I mean, if anything does come up again, I know I've seen recently that Jake the Ripper, who used to run Prime Cut, is like he's uploading some of his old battles again, so I think he might be getting back into it. So
Right, right.
hopefully something comes up again, and a Wales versus Scotland event would be pretty good as well.
That would be fucking weird like that. Wales versus Scotland. Let's go. Yeah, man. No, I mean I'd be on it if fucking there's enough actual Welsh battlers to do it. Also, I've never been to Wales. Wales is the only part of the UK that I've never been to. So might be due a
Okay.
visit, but then all Welsh people that I meet just tell me not to come there. It's like there's no point.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've lived here for about 4 years now, and like, unless you're coming here to like go to on like a remote like cabin weekend
Right,
away or
right. Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Unless you're going hiking, there's no point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
there's like
much.
mad places in Scotland I'd like to do events as well. Like I like Rise did the Highland Battle shit, and I really liked that things were happening up there. And the first event was packed because it was a free event, and they were just letting people from it was the attic of a pub, so they were just letting people from the pub come up, and people just ended up coming up and staying for it. And it was great. The other events weren't that well attended. But like I'd like to do fucking. I was thinking about like how feasible would it be to do some kind of event in Shetland. Like let's just go the furthest fucking north that we possibly can and see if the locals come out. But then I was like, well, like financially that doesn't make any fucking sense to do that at all. Nobody's got like you have to get on like a 12-hour ferry to go to Shetland. Like nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that.
So, are you aware of a rapper I think he's from California called Murs, Murs?
Yes, yes, I know Mars. Yeah.
So I went and saw Murs in London about 3 years ago, and I got to have a brief chat with him after, because it was in like a back room of a pub. There was only about 40 people there. And I was like, so are you doing any other shows in the UK? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to Manchester. I'm going to, I think he said he was going to Bolton. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, and then I'm doing another small show in a whiskey distillery on the Isle of Skye. And I was like, what?
That's cool as fuck.
I don't think it ever actually went ahead, unfortunately, but
Wow,
that would have
that's
been
cool.
amazing. I'd
That's
love
really
that.
cool. That would have been great. Well, maybe it was some kind of whiskey sponsorship deal they had or some shit. I don't know. But like, yeah, Shetland actually, a lot of bands and stuff do go to Shetland on their way if they're like bands from either the UK or coming over from the US. A lot of them go to Shetland on their way to like Norway and Sweden because it's kind of on the way. It's like Shetland's closer to Norway than it is to the UK mainland. So especially like a lot of metal bands and stuff go there as well because Shetland is it's kind of like a Nordic culture. It's not really Scottish. It's more like Nordic. So like yeah, there are like metal festivals that happen there as well, but I don't think any kind of rap has ever been brought there. Like I remember being in a pub when I was there, and like it's the kind of place where like pubs will have like musical instruments hanging on the walls, and people will just take them off and start playing the guitar, and somebody will start playing the fiddle. So then and like not old people, like young people are doing this shit. So I walked up to like a couple, like one guy's playing the guitar and the girl was playing the fiddle, and I walked up to them and I just started rapping over what they were playing. and
That's
then,
it.
and I don't think they'd ever heard anybody like rap in person before. But like yeah, man, like Shetland is there's no some places you just don't really there's no actual feasible point of bringing hip hop there. Like what's really gonna happen?
Yeah.
I don't know how much desire it is for people there are pretty much into like folk music and metal, and like the young people are probably into doing fucking loads of drugs because there's nothing else to do. So I don't know.
Yeah, fair one, man. But yeah, it's like just the thought of Murs doing an event on the Isle of Skye in a whiskey distillery, I thought was the best thing ever at the
Yeah,
time. But
that's
whether it
amazing.
happened or not, I don't know. But yeah, apart from that, like I've been ending the show with a couple of like music-based questions and then three like really random questions at the end. But like,
Okay, let's do it.
if you had to pick your top three favorite albums off the top of your head, what would you go with?
Oh Jesus, I don't fucking know. Oh man, I'm gonna throw a curveball. Royce the 5'9", Death is Certain. It could be any genre.
Any genre, yeah.
All right, okay. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On,
Nice.
and shit. There's just so many, man. I don't know, and I haven't listened to an actual album all the way through in years.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Uh, fuck. I could Okay, let's go Kanye West, Dark Fantasy. Let's go with that. That's a really good
Okay.
album.
Yeah, fair one. Comes up a lot, that one actually, but the
Great
other
album.
two have not been said any before, so it's good to get some new answers. But is there is there any like lesser known musicians for you that you're a big fan of at the moment that myself or the listeners might not be aware of?
Oh, at the moment, um, I can't really think of nothing off the top of my head in terms of lesser known musicians. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the spot here. I don't really know. Uh, I guess
That's fair one.
any rap music that I listen to that's from Scotland probably would fall into the category of lesser known musicians.
To be honest, there's not a massive amount of Scottish MCs that I'm aware of. Like anyone that's battled, I've kind of checked their music. I know Gasp's got quite big recently.
Gasp's getting
Um,
a lot of streams, yeah, online. Obviously, Shogun has
yeah,
done quite well, continues to do quite well. There's so many people you should check out, man. If you like grime, like Sherlock, he's really fucking good. Um,
okay. I've not heard of
uh,
him.
yeah, Sherlock's one to check out, and he's been racking up the views for time. A dude called Kid Robotic, if you like trap music, and he's also made boom bap as well. And he's been at it for about 10 years, man. Like he's gone constant. There's a dude called if you want to go real far back to the origins of Scottish hip hop, check out Mr. Bose. Mr. Bose has been rapping since the 80s, and he's
Yeah,
still
I'm
going.
aware of him.
Yeah, he's still going. Oh fuck, man, there's hundreds. There's so much good Scottish rap music being made right now. I just last night I just finished off shooting a video for an artist called Empress from Paisley. She's probably the best Scottish female MC out. Probably the best one that I've ever heard, and she's got an album dropping real soon, and I've heard most of it, and it's fire. So yeah, like Empress is a good one to check out too. And I'm dropping some shit. I'm going to be dropping two projects over the summer, and I've got a video that's probably ready to go like next week. So yeah, I'm going to be dropping shit too, like real soon.
Nice, nice man. Yeah, my long term plan with the podcast is like once I've built some subscribers up and stuff, is I want to do a weekly show talking about battlers music more, just
Yeah,
because I think it's hugely overlooked and there's so many
it is
battlers making good music now. So any projects that you've got going on, make sure you send them over and I'll put them on.
100%, man, 100%.
But yeah, nice man. And that is it, Ransom FA or something like that.
Oh
He's
yeah,
from
Effie, yeah. Ransom FA, yeah. He's dope. He's from Aberdeen.
that's
Um,
it. Yeah,
yeah, he was on the rap game last year or 2 years ago. And I know there's been quite a lot of Scottish MCs that have been approached to go in the rap game. So there will be more Scottish MCs being seen on there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cunts who are doing all kinds of different styles of rap up here. It's not just one thing. It's not just like since Shogun came and then everybody's on the grime wave or drill or whatever. Like yeah, all that shit does get made up here, but there's also boom bap, there's old school shit, and there's people making other kinds of crazy fucking music. There's mad experimental. There's a dude called Conscious, who's probably one of my favorite producers from Scotland. He's always putting out work, uh, beat tapes and stuff that he does with MCs. He's well worth checking out too. So yeah, this fucking hundreds, man. I could do a whole other podcast just bigging up Scottish rappers.
fair one, man. Yeah, I'll check some of the names out that I haven't heard anyway. But the final music related question is like, who's the best live act that you've ever seen in terms of gigs that you've been at?
I think the best gig I've ever been to was Death Grip's first ever gig that they did in Scotland. It was in the basement of the Captain's Rest in the West End of Glasgow. That pub isn't there anymore, but the basement was packed. Like there was a small basement. It was definitely over capacity. It was maybe like a 150 capacity basement that easily had about 200 people in it, 250 people in it. And yeah, MC Ride came out. The mic initially wasn't on, and he starts shouting into the mic, and I thought that it was on because his voice was so fucking loud. all the lights were killed and there was just a red light on him, and then the set started from beginning to end. There were no breaks for like over an hour, and the whole place just turned into a mosh pit. Like the whole fucking this fucking basement venue. It was one of the craziest gigs I've been to. That's a real good memory that I have from a gig.
No.
Live performers. You know who's like really underrated as a live performer, but is really good to see live? I don't know if he's still going. Jeru the Damager.
Yeah, I've seen
Actually,
him as well, man.
actually opened me and my crew, the Dead Life. We opened for him in Glasgow like years ago, probably about 6 years ago now. And
Oh, sick.
yeah, he's actually really fucking good live. For very, very underrated, man. Jeru, I like him. And
Yeah, I've
actually, I
seen
saw
his
Action
live.
Bronson live as well, and he
Yeah.
kind of he did the whole set in the crowd. He had a wireless mic. He jumped in the crowd on the first tune, and then just did the rest of the set walking around the crowd. That was great to see. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I saw him as well, and he literally fucked off halfway through the set and went to go and get like he came back and was telling us about how he'd gone to get food and stuff. I was
Yeah, he
just
does
like,
shit like he went and
hang
took a
on.
piss during his set. Like people in the crowd were all around him, and then he like pushed people off. He's like, "Yo, back up," right? And then the beat starts, the intro of the beat, and he goes, "Fuck this, I'm gonna take a piss." And he walks into the bathroom, right? And then like the beat drops, and we hear him rapping like from. He's still got the mic and he's still rapping as he's taking a piss, and then he comes back out and people are like, "Yeah!"
That's
uh,
amazing.
I like Action
Yeah.
Bronson. For that reason, man, for that reason alone, I fought with Action Bronson.
Yeah, I always like I kind of like this stuff and like I wasn't 100% sold on him, and then I saw him live and I was just like, yeah, this guy's fucking incredible. But
Yeah.
yeah, agreed. That's a good list, man. And yeah, the final three, they are completely random. But do you have a favourite sports team?
Brayhead Clan, Glasgow hockey team. Let's go. I don't watch hockey, but I support them because I stay not far from the arena. So I've been drinking with the hockey players sometimes, but yeah, man, that's my favorite sports team.
Nice.
And I don't watch sports really, other than like sometimes I'll watch boxing or UFC. I don't watch sport. I don't watch football. I don't watch nothing. But Brayhead Clan, 100%. That's my support.
I like it. Nice, man. And if you could pick anywhere in the world for your next holiday or trip abroad, where would you go?
I really want to go to Japan.
Yeah, yeah, it's top of my list as well, to be
Yeah,
fair.
man.
Fair one. And the final one, so you can pick one sweet and one savoury, but what are the go-to snacks in your opinion?
Snacks. Okay. Sweet. Uh, a Dairy Milk Oreo cookie bar.
Okay.
The Oreo cookie Dairy Milk. I like that shit. And savory. Fuck, it depends, man. Um, I like Wotsits a lot. I like Quavers a lot. Like cheesy kind of snacks, cheesy Doritos. That kind of ballpark of cheesy flavored corn snacks I like. Or if I'm in the US, hot Cheetos every time. I'm so gutted we don't get the proper hot Cheetos over here, the ones that fucking rip you out from the inside and leave you feeling in a world of pain the next day, but you keep reaching for the next bag of hot Cheetos because they're so fucking good.
Do you know what? I've not actually tried them, so I'm gonna
Oh,
have to look
dude,
out for them. But
you need to, but eat them in moderation. Don't the rookie mistake is to because they are really good and they're really modish. The rookie mistake's to eat a full fucking bag, but you're gonna be in a world of suffering the next day, man, because they're spicy as fuck. But they are
okay,
so good.
I'll bear that in mind, man. But yeah, apart from that, mate, that's all the questions done with. But
Cheers, man.
was there anything that you wanted to plug on the show or anything like that?
Yeah, man. So when is this gonna go out?
I'd say what we're on now, Saturday. I'd say Tuesday.
All right, safe. Okay, well, if this is going out on Tuesday, then this coming Saturday, which will be June the 6th, We're doing volume 3 of Irn Brz battle stream. And 2 seconds, I'm just going to get the card up so I can read it because it'll be announced by then. So on the card we have Bobby Rex versus Rivers, Kamehameha versus Nameless, Deviant versus Georgie Roots, and Crons versus Oddball, who I believe will be doing an on-beat battle. I haven't finalised with them yet at this exact moment, but yeah, they were supposed to battle on beat before and it never went ahead. So yeah, 9 p.m. Saturday, June the 6th. Check it out on the Irn Brz YouTube or the Irn Brz Facebook page. Just IRNBRZ Battles. Search that on YouTube to go to the YouTube and fucking follow for notifications and all that shit. Yeah, at Irn Brz Battles on Instagram, at Irn_Bars on Twitter, IRNBRZ every time, for fucking updates and all the kinds of shit that we're doing. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at Mackenzie Scottish Rap, because I will be dropping some videos and other types of shit, music and all that. So I'm promoting that primarily through my Instagram and at Mackenzie Pro on Twitter as well. And yeah, I think that's really it in terms of all the shit that I had to plug. I'm just trying to get as many people to watch the live stream battles as possible, because it is a format that I've not really seen a lot of people do. We do it like a proper fucking live stream, like a podcast, except instead of people calling in to give opinions on shit, they're calling in to fucking slag each other off, and it's highly entertaining. All the battles are judged. We're bringing back judged battles. Yeah, man. I do a live stream on the Irn Brz channel every Saturday at 9 p.m. anyway. So yeah, people come check that out. We're just trying to up the content, because content is king these days, especially since everybody's life's been disrupted and we're all going to be fucking staying in the house for a little bit longer. Like, yeah, man. But thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate this. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you for coming on, man. And I'll be tuned into the live stream for sure. I tuned into the first one. I missed the second one, unfortunately, but saw the battles back on YouTube a few days later. And yeah, I like what you're doing, man. It's been a lot of fun to watch. So
Nice one.
and this third card sounds fucking crazy, to be fair. So yeah, whoever's listening, definitely tune into that. But again, thank you for taking the time to come on, man. I really appreciate it, and I hope you stay safe up there anyway.
All right, mate. Thanks a lot, man.
Take care. Bye, man.
All right, bye.